Hi, my name is Jamie. It has been several months since my last attempt at online dating, and I would like to present you with a cautionary tale. I was at a point in my life where I was, we'll say, reckless with my Tindering. Everybody has swiped right a few times more than they should have. But I hadn't been dating in a very long time, and I broke the cardinal rule of online dating, which is on the first date you always meet in public, always. Because the first date is not a date, it is a test. And it's an interesting test because you're both administrating it and taking it. You have to prove that you're not crazy while simultaneously kind of making sure the other person is okay as well. It's a very elegant dance. And I forewent this dance, and she invited me over to her house for dinner and a movie. And against my better judgment, I said yes, because I figured it was fine. We'd been texting for a solid week. We were practically soulmates. And I'll have to be honest, much like the heart, the penis is also a lonely hunter. And so I went over, and she lived in this farmhouse in like the middle of nowhere, and it was less the Waltons and more Deliverance. There's a lot of like the lawn was ill kept. There's like a rusted out woodshop of horrors in the back. There's a cornfield where the gentle laughter of children can faintly echo through. It's a spooky place. But against my better judgment, I'm into this. I go in, and I notice that she has a lot of children's toys on the floor of her place. There's like some Power Wheels and some coloring books and shit. And she hadn't mentioned having a kid before, and I can respect that. Do we have any single moms? That's rough. That's tough, ladies. And I found some ham-fisted way to try and bring it up. Like I picked up a coloring book, and you stayed in the lines this time. That's great. And she tells me it's her niece. Her brother unfortunately passed away, and she's been raising her niece as her own daughter. And that's very sweet. And I thought that was very touching. And I said how troubling and hard that must be. And she says, yes, especially because she's addicted to crack. And I was a little taken aback by that. Not something I would bring up on the first date. I'd start with books and movies, but to each their own. And I pressed for a little more information, obviously. And she said that I guess her brother had been involved with drugs, and now she's raising this child. And that's very noble. That's very noble. And I asked where the kid is, and she's like, oh, she's sleeping in the other room. I'm like, oh, well, how is, do you struggle with that typically? She's like, yeah, she's prone to fits of violence, but she's asleep now, so we'll be okay. So, we pop on a movie. Her choice of movie is Nightmare on Elm Street, the original one. Romance. And we keep talking. We're talking about the movie. Her brother comes up again because there's a giant crack-addicted elephant in the room. And there's a scene in the movie, if you've seen it, where the main heroine is running around the house and she's setting up all these booby traps for Freddy when he gets there. It's very much a more violent version of Home Alone at the end. She's setting up ways for the light switch to explode when you pull the cord and stuff. And we make a joke about that, and she's talking about it. And I ask, we're talking about that, and how in Fight Club they also teach you how to make all these crazy homemade explosives. And she says, yeah, that's really great. That's how I learned how to burn down this bitch's house once.
It's a keeper.
Yeah. So again, this is the time to press for more information, as I'm now alone in your house. And she tells me that she had been bullied in school by some girl after her brother passed away, and the only logical way to deal with this situation was to, quote, burn that bitch's house down. Now, at this point, I'm a little confused, because I don't know if she's telling the truth or not, and neither answer is good. Because if she is, then I'm dating an arsonist. And if she's not, then this is apparently a whimsical story she likes to tell on the first date. The movie ends, it's time for me to make a graceful exit, and she's leaning in for a kiss, and I don't know what to do. So I said we put on another movie. It was Rango, another inappropriate date movie. And she's coming in for the kiss again, and I feel bad because I don't want to kiss her, because that indicates that I'm interested, and then we're going to have to go on date 2, and there's no way to diffuse that situation. So I'm trying to lean back as she keeps coming in, and there's nowhere to run. And finally, I just buckle like a belt, and I just let it happen. Yeah. I finally have to sneak into the bathroom and pull hey, text a friend, please call me so I can leave this situation. It was very sad, yes. Oh man, this did end very sadly. I'm sorry. This isn't a... I said cautionary tale. Goodness. And finally, the phone rang. I managed to pull up some excuse. I said I had stuff to do or something. And I gallivanted away into the night, never to call again. Always me in public.